I would
Yeah.
be.
You mentioned that you got your masters because I think everyone hears about masters. I mean, is there a time frame that after that you get the recordings back or what?
Yes, yes. After 30 years,
Oh,
28 to 30 years, that everything reverts back to the artist, the composer, the producer.
so is that why Universal re-released the albums last year? That like the Guy album, so that like, well, just before we kind of back in, we're just going to try and make as much from it, or was
Yeah,
that?
everything is a business, exactly. And they will anything in their power, they release more. They just got to pay us like we the ownership. They
So
have
now,
to notify us and they have to pay us.
so now that you have the masters back for say, I like, what does that mean? What does that mean now?
Nope, no one can do the songs without us licensing them. Like you have to pay us for licensing.
But
You
before they
have to
could,
before they could do it or whatever, they'll pay Universal or they'll pay the other entities that the publishing was sold to. Like Teddy was connected with BMG, Zomba, and a bunch of other people. That the deal that we did this time, getting our masters back, all of that's null and void now because after 30 years,
um,
everything come back to us. It's almost like when you file for chapter 11 or chapter 7 for taxes. It's like people can come in and try to do, but if you listed all of these names now, it's red alert. Everybody have to understand that, yo, too late. So sad, so bad. You didn't get nothing. They filed for, and the same thing with people could fight to say, oh no, we still own this, we still, but they can't because after 30 years, all those original songs and masters come back to the producers, composers, and writers.
okay. So then the Gene, Teddy and Aaron sold stuff signed over to Gene, and I'm sure Gene probably sold his stuff off to the person who bought Gene's stake in it. Did they hit that? That's it. They've lost that. Nothing. They don't own anything anymore. Or
Well, Gene, the savviness and intelligence, Gene is this. That's why he made himself a fourth member. And I was telling Teddy this. I said, in years to come, so Gene basically gets what Aaron, myself, and Teddy get.
wow.
Whoever owns his, probably Donna, his wife. I'm assuming. I don't know for sure.
Hmm.
But that's why he made himself fourth member of the group. Gene ain't no damn member of the group. Gene ain't have to go out and dance and sing or write or produce anything. He tries to turn himself into a producer. I don't give a damn who say what. I've been in the studio with Gene, come up with ideas, but no ideas that you want, especially back in the time when we were writing. We don't want no. Gene ain't never was nowhere with us where he gave an idea.
Hmm.
Now Teddy and Aaron may say something different, but I wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, most people have said that when Basic Black and the rest, they said Gene would come into the studio, say how things going, and then he'll leave, and that was the most you'd see him in the studio. So yeah.
Well, he that first Guy album. I'm only speaking about the first
Mm.
Guy.
I mean, he wouldn't do anything. As I said, they'll just say he'll walk in, say hi, and then leave. That's as much as you'd see him on anything. It's just to say hi and
Well,
leave.
that was his. And Kids at Work, he was very, very, very involved.
Okay.
There, he would say, "I want this title of the song. I want y'all to do this song. Timmy, I need you to write." I was right. Like even then, my job was to write and play bass and sing on little parts. Because Clurel was the lead singer, Teddy was the keyboardist, and we wanted to produce. But they had a guy by the name of Orville Gilchrist did the first Kids at Work record.
Yeah, cool.
And Me and Teddy was so pissed because we wrote. I mean, I wrote everything.
Mm.
If you ask Clurel, Clurel will tell you that.
Yeah, what he did say was that he could see that they knew you could sing, but they didn't want you to do anything, almost to frustrate you. Was that the case? Because he was like, "How come, Timmy doesn't sing?" And he was almost as if, "No, we just want it this way."
Well, Clurel and I have been very close. Me and Teddy was very, very, very close. And Clurel never. If you was talented and Clurel witnessed it, Clurel would die on that hill. You can't tell Clurel nothing else besides no, I seen it, I know, whatever. And Clurel and I was tied at the hip for such a long time. Because I would tell Clurel what to sing, how to sing it, how to breathe, and whatever. And Clurel became a master at it, as far as vocals and as far as phrasing and as far as before we finished before the ink dried on the paper, he knew how the song went. And that became a big thing. The only reason why Clurel left the group because at that time we left that kitty land
Mm.
into the adult park, and Clurel didn't want to cut his hair.
He said it.
Clurel didn't want to cut his hair. He had a very good grade of hair and it was long. He had jerry curls, but it was still hanging down his back. And we're going to we leave in the early 80s now, the mid 80s, going into the late 80s in 86 and 87. And me and Teddy was like, this ain't working. Ain't, I'm out of date and we only 18, 19. Oh, hell. No, I'm like Johnny Gill. So we went straight to the hood, and that's what we became. Not the hood, but so the whole style, the fade, the Gumby cuts, the everything. And the first time I remember, the first time we were seeing it, said, "Damn, y'all cut off all your hair." Like, yep, it's where we going, man. We changing it up. And Clurel was adamant about he wasn't gonna do it.
Wow.
That's what. It wasn't because Clurel couldn't sing. It wasn't because Clurel didn't fit the image. We asked Clurel. We asked Clurel, yo, man, please, we going into this new image. We changing up the image, the style, them corny jackets, collegiate stuff. That's over with. We going into the new phase. And Clurel just didn't see it. And he more likely he didn't want to give up what he was known for. And
Mm.
we took time. I told me and Clurel were friends first. We used to hang out clubbing every week. Clurel would come over to my house, eat my mom's cooking, just set up like my brother. And I used to tell Clurel, you gotta cut that shit. You gotta cut it, man. We going into the new. We not leaving it. We just God just put it to the right place, the right time, the right era where we just sensed that things were changing. We just sensed it. We didn't follow nobody. There was no groups out there that really at the time, at that particular time, did what we did. We just wanted to take that era of that street savvy with the haircut and the clothes and the style and put it in music and get that audience, get that fly audience, not that fanatic audience where just the little girls. That'll come. But we wanted to get that style where hustlers, gangsters, grown folks will play our music
Mm.
and
Yeah.
not categorize it as, oh, I want to hear that bubble gum. You know what they say. I want
Yeah.
to hear that. So my writing style changed tremendously, tremendously. And I'm trying to think of the groups that was out that made me change. There was no groups out. There was groups out, but there was no groups out that really
Was Levert
inspired.
out by that time?
Say that again.
Levert?
But Levert had Jerry Curls too when they came out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, they were bigger. They even though they were young, because I talked to Mark years ago about it. Even though they were young, they always had an older image.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I used to think that they were much older. Yeah, especially because Sean and
Yeah,
yeah,
because they was big, Jerry curls,
yeah,
and
Gerald Levert
Gerald,
did look big, and he did. They always looked old, and they dressed old. Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, oh hell no, I ain't. We thin. I'm not going in that direction. I love Levert's songs,
Mm.
and I never really looked at the artists like that. I would look at the producers like the Callaways and Quincy Jones, and I will focus on that. I love the imagery and artists, but when they didn't beat what I thought, I left it alone. I was like, yeah, they got a hit record, but nah.
Yeah, because
They go ahead.
during that time, there were more sort of bands groups. So you're thinking about F One and Fire, Ready for the World, Midnight Star, Atlantic Star, SOS Band. It seemed that that was more of the era where
I,
they.
right. I love their songs, but I wasn't thinking about groups like that because it wasn't. We had our times when it was 7 and 8 members of a group. We wasn't going for that.
Mm,
I wanted to go back. And when I went back and listened to old records and stuff, the first thing that really caught my eye was after God allowed me to dream. I went straight and started digging up, and I even went to the record store and got the Gap Band records.
wow. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the Halftime Chat community. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. But most importantly, why don't you consider being a member as a way of supporting the channel, but also getting a lot of videos ahead of time, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and some exclusive content that doesn't get shared. But anyway, thanks for watching and thanks for being part of Halftime Chat.